MNC, it's MNC. He gon' rack it up, get your game on, and he gon' bag it up. Y'all know what Mooch on, Mooch and Crap. Mooch and Crap. Mooch and Crap. Mooch and Crap. It's that time to get ready for the MNC show. Grab your coffee or your liquor, cause we ready to roll. They talking games, plus some gadgets, and you already know. Dial that number, leave them questions, and away they go. Be a pony or a bot, the truth be it don't matter. We just gamers talking games, not those drama queens matters. So let's talk about gaming, news, leaks, and reviews. This a fan show on whatever topic y'all choose. True Xbox fans, and y'all know we bleed green. Yet we got every console we can play, everything. Got that Forza, got that Halo, got that Fallout, got that Kratos, got that Zelda, got that Spidey, got that AC, got it Ike. Mooch and Crap. Mooch and Crap. Mooch and Crap. Mooch and Crap. We just talking about games, no drama. That's how we do. MMC stays a show just for the people. Nostalgia is a hell of a drug to be a fiend to. Gaming is the #1 hobby we all keen to. Mooch and Crap, bringing gaming opinions and facts. MMC is back on the map. It's the best for show, and that's that. It's MNC. It's MNC. It's Mooch and Crap. It's Mooch and Crap. MMC is back. MNC is back. It's back. It's back. And y'all already know.
Welcome to the MNC show, and we are live.
Yes, we're live. We are back. It's fantastic. It's absolutely fantastic to be back. Crap. It's been a bit of a hiatus, but the audience is ready. Everybody's like, we need more Mooch and Crap. So
yeah, I'm sure that's just what they were thinking.
Absolutely, it's what they're thinking.
Yes, and hey, we're back, and we're better than ever. Probably, I don't really know, but yeah, you know what? It is good to be back, and it's good to actually have some cool stuff to talk about and stuff like that. You know, everybody, I think, deserves a little break now and then. I know a lot of people just think that it's, you know, kind of whatever when it comes to doing podcasts or whatever. It must be easy or something like that. It can be sometimes if it's flowing. And sorry, I know my icon isn't there. It's just a gray screen. So that represents how I feel currently. So that's
gray.
It's
okay,
perfect. Exactly. So, you know, honestly, man, I've been doing podcasts almost nonstop.
You have
for like 5+ years, man, like 3-4 a week. And all the other stuff. So, you know, I took a little bit of a sabbatical and a break, and I also got sick with the flu in between and stuff like that. So yeah, you know, it's good to be back and finally do a show today and just kind of get some of this stuff out of here and stuff like that. I mean, you've been killing it with Crossfire and stuff like that. Also, you guys had a lot of people there, and
well, yeah, you know, Crap. It was one of those things, and it's interesting because we talk about this. We've been talking about this for years. I like having a large group, but it is difficult because it's not like we're all sitting around on like one of those big IGN shows where everybody's looking at each other and knows when to stop talking. So you have to really orchestrate that, and it's difficult, but it was a lot of fun. I appreciate you tuning into it, Crap. We missed
for sure,
you. We missed you big time. I plugged you like crazy.
I appreciate that. You know, yeah. Listen, I listen even if I'm not there. You know, it's always a good show and a good time to talk about stuff like that. And again, anytime there's a game that's kind of polarizing, like right now, with Death Stranding, then you know it's going to be a pretty good show because everybody's going to have difference of opinions and stuff like that. And I think that that's really what this really comes out. So I guess Death Stranding would be the big thing that people want to hear us talk about. You know what I mean? And
well, we should, Crap. I mean, because me and you actually we're on both sides of the coin, kind of on this game.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. I'll be honest. Like, I thought it was weird from the beginning. Okay, I wouldn't have bought the game for myself. You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't have. I won the game. So game trailers, that guy who's on Twitter, he watches the shows and stuff like that. He's a diehard Xbox fan. He really believed in Gears of War 5 and to the tune of bet me that it would get a 95 Metacritic. And if it didn't, he would buy me Death Stranding. Well, you're not going to get a better bet than that. No Gears of War game has ever scored a 95, right? So you knew that this one wasn't going to. Easy bet. So he did finally pay me off, and I got Death Stranding. And I downloaded it or whatever, but I haven't been able. You know, it doesn't come out yet. But yeah, so we saw all the reviews and stuff like that. And you know what? Here's the thing. This game was always going to be weird and divisive and probably pretty niche. And so, and that's exactly what it is. Like, his stuff is not for everybody.
No.
I can't imagine that they went into this thinking that this thing was going to sell 10 million copies or something like that. The guy paid his dues in the industry and finally got to make something that he wanted to make himself. You know what I mean? And you got to give the guy credit for that. And so
I do.
And I think it's good. Whether or not it's good, I don't know. I mean, I've heard all kinds of different things. It's bad. It's this. It's that. It's a little bit of, I'm looking forward to trying it out for myself, and apparently it's got a lot of like sequences and like CGI and stuff like that. So, I'm looking forward to it. The incredible thing to think about this is that guy, he never gets his games out on time. So he got this one out on time. Secondly,
that's what it really amazes.
Yeah. Secondly, he managed to get a AAA game out in 3 years time. Right. Like that blows my mind still. I
would have definitely, and I'm not a betting man, crap, but if you said to me, okay, 2 years ago, hey, the Kojima
no way, I thought
production,
2020, man.
This thing had PS5 written all over it.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
So, I mean, getting back to what you're saying, though, I like where you're going with this, crap. This is not a game that's for everybody. Kojima's never really kind of followed to the beat of one tune. He's always had his own kind of rhythm. And I think you're seeing that even with these scattered reviews that we've seen, right? Yeah. I mean, it's all over the place.
It's not, here's the thing. They're not even scattered reviews. There's 4 negative ones or something like that, or not great ones. Like most of them, there's a lot of 100s, a lot of 90s, a lot of 80. You know what I mean? Like it's an 80. What is it? 84. That's a really solid score. And I know people will go, well, what about Gears 5? That's an 84 as well. And it's like, yeah, that's Gears. That's their tentpole franchise. I think that's a solid score too. But when you look at what's going on, like a new IP to come out, it's weird. And, I think that's pretty impressive. I'm not knocking either one. I think both are fine. It just depends on what you want to play. Like Gears is going to be even more of a game that the average player can play. I don't know if the average player is waiting to go around and do what. Look, I've watched reviews of this game. Yeah, and I still don't know what the hell it is.
Well, I'll tell you right now. So the beginning of it, and listen, I said this on Friday. I'll say it again. Fran Mirabella, which he left IGN, and now he's kind of an independent guy. He does his own thing, but he's also helping out with Greg Miller's channel. Yeah. He actually did a segment, where they did a review. Right, well, I feel bad for him too. But nonetheless, no, great guy. His review on the game, though, crap, was fantastic. He really gets into it, and he tells you. And the way he's pitching it, it's not for everybody. The first 2-3 hours is literally a balancing act of getting packages, if you will, from point A to point B. And you're using, I believe it's going to be L1R1 on your PlayStation controller for the balancing of Norman Reedus' character across terrain. Right, yeah, it's not that thrilling. That's why everyone's saying the first 3 to 5 hours is not that great. But here's my thing, crap. I've had and shout out to Salty, who says maybe the reason that they did get this game out in time is that Guerrilla Games sent a lot of people over to help. That makes a lot of sense.
That's using their engine too, the Decima engine. So yeah, I mean,
it looks fantastic.
They say it's supposedly like one of the best looking games of this generation, but they also say it's kind of a lifeless kind of thing or whatever. I don't know. It's like, I'm looking forward to trying it out. If it sucks, I'm going to review it and say it sucks.
Absolutely. And that's what people keep saying to me. They go, well, Mooch, you say you're intrigued. Does that mean you just love it? No, not at all. I'm going to play the game.
I've never been sold on the game where I would have bought it myself to begin with. Okay.
Right.
It's like, it's not really
if you never had that crap, we would never even hear your opinion. No, we never even know it.
Yeah, that's not, what I mean? And that's not a knock, because I'm sure there are people that are really like, man, I can't wait to play it. But for me personally, I just, it's not one of those games that really excites me with like some of these other games, like Call of Duty and some of these other games that are coming out, like this Dark Souls Star Wars game or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So hey, if you guys are joining us, please hit the like button, share it out, guys. Come on.
Please do, guys. Let's get a lot of butts in the seats, guys. We can do this. You guys have the power. Retweet it out. Crap. One of the things I was talking about over the course of the week on Twitter and on a couple on my show there was that I got to be honest with you, crap. I actually am intrigued about this game. It may absolutely be one of the worst games for me personally. I don't know in Death Stranding. But, it's funny. And shout out to Salty. We've been having a lot of discussions back and forth on Twitter about the Outer Worlds. And listen, if you love the Outer Worlds, I think that's fantastic. And I'm not going to give my opinion on Outer Worlds yet. I'm going to play a good portion of it today and just get off that first planet and see what it's all about. But crap, here's my point. When I ask people, hey, you guys are playing the Outer Worlds, they're like, oh, Mooch, you have no idea. It's great. It's great. And I go, well, what's so great about it? Well, it's like Mass Effect. It's like Borderlands. It's like, you know what I mean? It's like Fallout, but better. And I'm like, but I've played all those games. And some of them I don't even care. I'm not a big Mass Effect fan. You know that crap. To me, personally, it's just too much dialogue. You know, it's like 8 different screens of dialogue before I get a side mission. You know, so that
I didn't even bother downloading it. Look, I keep that. It's not a bullshit thing. I don't lie. Like that's not my game. You know what I mean? It seems like it's Fallout in space, and I didn't like Fallout on the ground. So
the only thing I think that this would, and I still don't think you'd like it, crap. But I think that you might like better is it's more linear than Fallout.
I like that idea. The problem is I don't like first person RPGs. You know, I know that might sound a little bit weird. I like kind of third person RPG. Like, here's the thing: everybody was all like, "Those, what the hell are those? Like Skyrim and all that kind of stuff." Before Skyrim, I think they were first person, right? Skyrim was the first one where it had a really good third person view. Okay, so that one I really got into. I really love Skyrim, but I don't like first person RPGs. I don't think they're very good for whatever reason. So, you know what I mean? I like that's not my bag. And yeah, but I think that I'm happy that for that team that you know what I mean, and that they were able to come out with a game that so many people seem to like, and it doesn't seem like I don't even know if that's like this huge, big budget game to be honest with you, but I think that they did a good job with it. So and a lot of people like it, so good for them, man. I'm happy that they were able to do that.
It's the end of 2019. We've all played a zillion games over and over again. We keep on saying things like, oh, I love this game because it reminds me of this. And I didn't like this game because it reminds me of that. But at the same time, I'm intrigued to play this game. And listen, here's a little something else. No spoilers. I don't have any spoilers in front of me. I don't know anything about it. But somebody told me that as you get further into Death Stranding, it becomes more Metal Gear Solid-ish, if you will. Try saying that 5 times fast. But
really?
I mean, yeah. So what happens, crap, is you go from just balancing act to getting better equipment so that you can handle. You've got different camp. Well, here's the thing. There's camps and rogue stations all over the place that as you're trying to bring a delivery, okay, you have to fight and get through. There's also something called, and pardon me for not remember, the Tyranny Reign, something like that. Anyway,
you know a lot more about it than I do.
Oh, man. I've really been trying to do some non-spoiler research on this. But crap, here's the thing: so your package with time will start to deteriorate, or you won't be able to deliver it because there's a time on it.
So you're just delivering packages, and Kojima
was
like,
the beginning.
He goes, "I got this idea. Now bear with me here.
Now bear with me.
You're gonna press L1 and R1."
Don't let him confuse you.
Yeah, and keep it and you got to keep it somewhere in the middle.
Yes.
Otherwise, you tip over carrying packages.
Well, let me ask you a question, crap. Nine Lives brings up an interesting point, and I saw Corey Balrog saying something, and I see Neil. He said Neil Druckmann called it a hiking simulator. So wait,
I can hardly wait.
So my point being, you know what I'm starting to think? I'm starting to think Crap should have just gave me that code. Listen, right? We could have done a whole segment, but here's my thing, Crap. Is Corey and Neil, are they throwing a little shade at Kojima, or are they just having fun with him?
I think they're probably just having some fun with him.
I would think so, too. I don't think you'd want to say something bad about Kojima.
Now, what do you think overall with this year? I mean, with games, like everybody's like, game of the year, what's it going to be? And you look and it was kind of a weak year. Only 2 were in the 90s, which was Sekiro and Resident Evil 2 remake. Yeah. I don't think the remake is going to be in the running. I mean,
well, this is the thing, though, Crap. And listen, I'm kind of glad you brought that up, because now we can go into a segment that I don't even have on my topics list here, but you can talk to it too. You won't believe this, Crap. Not since we've ever talked games, since me and you ever met, have I ever talked about a Nintendo game like this. Crap, I can't stop
Luigi's
playing.
Mansion.
Crap, I'm literally halfway through it, and it came out on Friday. Yeah. I love it. But here's my thing. It only got like an 86 or an 85 or something on Meta, right?
Hey guys, it only got an 86. Yeah.
Right?
So...
And it's a beloved Nintendo title. You would think that's got 95 written all over it.
Yeah. I don't know what the deal is like lately with stuff like that. Maybe they're being harder on games. I don't know, but I do tend to think that we didn't like get the type of stuff that we would normally get in terms of the scores and stuff. So it is sort of hard to see, but I've heard nothing but good things. I haven't had a chance to get it, but I gotta say, I love the first 2 Luigi's Mansion games. I have the original Luigi's Mansion on GameCube still. Yeah. And I also have Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon on the 3DS. So, and I actually have they ported the original one to the 3DS as well. So I think I have both on the 3DS. So yeah, I like those games. I thought they were really well done. They're a lot of fun and perfect. I mean, they came out in the perfect. It probably would have been a little bit better to launch a little bit earlier in the month.
Absolutely.
You know?
That's
like one of you got to really kind of take advantage of the Halloween aspect.
Yeah,
you know
it
what I
came
mean?
out
It was
on
like
Halloween. By the time you're done doing all the activities and you go out trick-or-treating with the kids, you come back, you clean everything up. I got like an hour in on Halloween. I'm like, this would have been so great if it came out a week before Halloween.
You know, it was like what the hell is that damn Christmas themed zombie game? Dead Rising 4.
Dead Rising
Remember?
4? Yes.
It was like if you're not playing it during the Christmas time, you're probably not going to enjoy it as much. You know what I mean? And it's true because it got the Christmas music constantly going in the background and stuff like that. So,
listen, they could have done so much with that title. Crap. I said this years ago and nobody listened to me. That could have been something where they added as games as a service. They like to do it anyways, okay? And had every single year, the minute on Thanksgiving night, it drops at midnight. You had a new DLC package that everyone's like, oh, I got to go run and play that new DLC, the new Christmas theme. You know, it was kind of like Home Alone. Remember when Home Alone was on every single year on Thanksgiving night?
It's sort of like how Hocus Pocus is on every single night before Thanksgiving. It becomes
a tradition. It's a tradition. And they could have done that with that game. They chose not to, of course. It would have been very little. But I do think, Crap, I think we've been talking Game of the Year stuff, and Salty says himself here, he says either Sekiro or Jedi Fallen Order. I think if we're talking nominees, those will be in there. I think Death Stranding still gets a nomination, and I think Luigi's Mansion 3 gets a nomination.
Yeah, I think so too. You know, with the meta scores and stuff like that. Here's the thing. A lot of people bring them up as they don't matter. I'm kind of in between on it. I think that overall, if you have just like abundantly great scores, it's probably going to be a pretty good game. But if it's not your type of game, then you're still not going to like it, right? Whereas, you know what I mean? Like a God of War, I love that game, and it got great scores and won Game of the Year. And so it's really indicative of those scores. And then a game like, say Crackdown 3 or State of Decay 2.
Boo this man.
Those games just, they get low scores and, they tend not to, I don't know what the deal is. Like those are just Xbox games. I don't know. I'm hoping that they fix that next generation, but it's like, for me personally, I know a lot of people that had fun with those games, like you had fun with Crackdown 3 and like some of the campaign was fun for a little bit.
Campaign was fun. I mean, but it's funny.
But then it got tedious and it's like there wasn't enough Terry Crews in it and the multiplayer was bad. Like, and you couldn't, and there is no multiplayer now. Like there's literally nobody there because it died.
No, there is not.
Legitimately, Mooch, you were the one that said this, right? You were like, oh, they're not going to have the, what the hell was that? You can't party up with your friends.
Right.
How long is that going to last? And literally by the time they fixed that, it was gone. Nobody was there. So
no, there really wasn't. And I'll tell you, I personally think that, when it comes down to it, Crap, you've got Death Stranding. And I kind of want to go back to Death Stranding just for a second because I don't want to lose the subject. We've got a situation here, Crap, where there was an array, if you will, of review scores. And of course, there's the lopsided on both ends. But what's interesting is I find it interesting now that IGN gave it a 6.8. That was kind of an interesting thing, wasn't it?
IGN
I didn't see that coming.
Gave it a 6.8, but the other IGNs gave it like 9s and 10s.
9.7 or higher from every other IGN outlet. And I'm like thinking to myself, okay, wow. What's going on here? Is there a love and affection for Kojima in Europe and Asia more than the United States?
Maybe he gets a little bit of a rub. It's hard to tell. I'm not really sure. Look, games as art, or maybe that's what he's going for. I don't really know, but maybe it is something like that. Look, I'm not really sure. If it sucks, I'm gonna be like, hey man, this really sucks. I didn't have to buy it anyway, so I don't care. But yeah, it's just one of those things where I really do hope that it's good or there is something to it. I heard there's the end cutscene is as long as some movies.
Yeah. Well, let's not forget things. Crap. Metal Gear Solid 5, if you will. That beginning hospital scene. I mean, you could have made yourself a bowl of popcorn.
That scene. Yeah. Like, hey, listen though, that beginning to Metal Gear 5 was fire. I loved it. I was like, holy crap, he's done it again. Yeah. And then the rest of that game was like. There was nothing hardly about it. You had to find little cassettes and play the cassettes and stuff. It wasn't great.
Here's my problem with IGN and what they did. IGN also gave Journey a 9.
Yeah.
Journey is totally a walking simulator.
Yeah, I agree.
Game of the year.
Yep.
And now you're going to say that, well, I don't want to walk around in this. And then it's got action. It's got boss battles. Yeah. It's got action. I'm not going to say it necessarily as RPG, but you can level up Norman Reedus' suit so that he is better
His
prepared.
suit. Wow.
Oh, he's got a suit.
Man,
You know?
I can hardly wait for that. That's going to be awesome.
That's the main reason I'm getting it. It's the suit.
You got to balance and get his suit. I see Salty brings up Celeste. That was a game that I brought up earlier,
right?
Earlier in the week with people complaining. I was like, hey, that game sucked to me.
So those
but
are
it
9s
was,
and 10s?
Yeah, it was a game of the year running. I even brought up the original Walking Dead, the Telltale games, that first season.
Yeah.
One game of the year. And some of those episodes during that season got like 70s or 80s, you know? So, it's just one of those things. And I think it also comes down to like personal opinions and stuff like that. Like, what do you want to play and what type of games do you prefer? So, like for me personally, I think it's going to be an interesting thing, but I think that Death Stranding could still be in the running for that, for sure.
Well, Seth in the chat, he says, what's wrong with Journey? And I just wrote him back. Nothing is wrong with Journey, but you've got IGN. What do people always say? To bring the same energy.
Journey sucked.
I can't stand that slogan. But nonetheless, bring the same energy.
Bring that same energy.
Bring it in the car. Bring it with you. All right, so here it comes. But I'm saying to you, if Journey's a walking simulator and it's a 9.0, this is a much bigger scale production. You've got Guerrilla Games assisting, Kojima Productions assisting. You got Sony money involved. It's a big deal. All of a sudden, 6.8. And myself personally, here's the other thing. I understand that it's not necessarily for you. And people are kind of taking the word fun in an interesting direction, right? So I do think that it depends on how you look at it. I think no matter what, if you're playing a game, I think to you, the individual gamer, it should be fun. But you may not interpret it that way when you're playing that game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Journey, again, Seth, question to Seth in the chat. Was Journey fun? Not really.
I thought it sucked. Hey, look, it's Rock Dog.
There's Rock. He says it's funny how a game sucks and you guys make excuses for it only because it's Kojima. Rock!
We haven't played it yet.
I've never defended Kojima in my life. All I'm saying is that the one thing that we've learned as we progress, gaming is so different now than it was 5-10 years ago, that now it's the old, don't knock it till you try it. I didn't come up with that slogan.
We haven't played it, so it's really almost impossible. Yeah, it's almost impossible for us to, to say anything about it. It's like, plenty of people defend bad games all the time. It's, what I mean? But again, we haven't played it, so we don't really know.
Well, let me ask you this, Crap. Here's another question I got for you. So is an 84 Metacritic score for a new IP, should that be held higher or lower than a known franchise? And of course, what I'm doing here is
I think that's high. I think that's higher, to be honest with you.
Well, that's what I'm saying, right? So I think an 84 for a new IP is better for that game than, let's say, you had an existing franchise and it gets an 84 or 85. Because at that point, you should be very, very well versed in your game, and it should be stellar. Right? So I would think that. So I think an 84 from a new IP standpoint, because look at it this way. Let's take Uncharted. People will say this all the time. Uncharted, the first one, it's a little rough around the edges, Crap.
Yeah.
Right? It didn't get its legs.
You had to balance.
You
had to balance stuff there too. Balance your character with those
you said it yourself.
controllers.
You thought Uncharted 2 is one of your best games you've played.
Yeah, it was probably one of the best games I played last gen. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So and I think a lot of people would agree with you there. But the first one was a little rough for you to finish and get through because you said, the mechanics were rough and they were trying to figure out the story and get things together still. It's the first one. So in essence, and I'm not saying that this is it's not a deflection for Kojima, but I'm saying when people were saying this thing's going to be great, I'm thinking 92. Then when people were saying it's not going to be great and it's not good, I'm thinking 72. So the fact that it got an 84, I think is pretty damn good.
Yeah. Hey, I think it's a really good score. I think that, I don't know. I'm not sure exactly what people expected. I had it. I predicted an 89. So, I guess
that wasn't that far. I said 92 because let's be honest. If you look the week before reviews came out, when they were saying that reviews were leaking and people were kind of getting upset about it, because thoughts and ideas were coming out on Twitter and being revealed on Reddit. Well, I didn't look at those, but everyone said they're pretty much all glamorous. I'm thinking this thing's got 90 plus written all over it.
Yeah. Hey, I thought so too. You know what I mean? I was like, hey, it's gonna do good. It's gonna be one of those games that finally gets up in the game of the year type category or whatever. But as you guys join in, hey, hit the like button, share it out, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
really
listen,
do appreciate it.
Yes, please do. Guys, tweet it out. Let everybody know. Hit the subscribe button. Can we get Mooch to 9,000 subscribers? It's been a minute.
Damn, it has been a minute, huh?
Gosh.
Yeah.
Right. Tell me about it, Crap. I should start making some videos. You've been saying
You
that
should,
for a long time.
Hey, you should. Hey, you got a PC that can do that shit, man.
I know. You know what it is? It's the time, Crap.
Yeah.
And this is what we were just talking about. There's 3 podcasts a week. I'm trying to do the Twitch thing. That's the other 2 days at 3 hours a pop.
Hey, you're doing the Twitch streaming. Why don't you use Mixer?
Listen, do you want to get into it?
Yeah, I mean,
we can get into it.
I mean, Mixer, right? Come on. That's where all the cool people are. Shroud and Ninja.
Is the Shroud experiment really working? I don't think so.
I never even heard of these people, to be honest with you.
I have. So, I mean, in all fairness, that's a big get for Microsoft. It is.
Yeah.
I mean, Shroud's he's a big time streamer.
Is it?
Rock Dog, shout out to Rock. He says the game only got an 84 because of Kojima. Otherwise, it's a 74. Rock, if you're doing these kind of predictions, can you DM me the winning lotto numbers for Wednesday night?
I mean, look, anybody can speculate that. That seems kind of salty to kind of just say that, though. We don't know. These people are professionals. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that.
This is a 50, 60-hour game, Crap, at minimum. So,
yeah,
I mean, it's not like it was thrown together in 8 hours and here, it's a Kojima joint. Play it.
Listen, there's lots of games like that. You brought it up, like Celeste. Some of these games that really suck, but they get really good scores anyway. So who's to say with Kojima? I thought that the Kojima rub gave Metal Gear 5 a bit of a higher score than it deserved, but you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
People just like the guy or whatever. So he's like an industry
for Metal Gear Solid 5. I don't think so.
And the funny thing is with stuff like you brought it up earlier with Luigi's Mansion 3. I have no idea who even made those Luigi's Mansion games, or if it was different people every time.
Yeah,
I was like,
who
even
was a video or one of your solo casts you were doing? I thought that was a great segment you did there.
Nobody even knows. I don't even know any Nintendo studios besides Retro Studios. That's like the only Nintendo studio that I know of. Yeah. And so but their games always tend to score incredibly well. Like there's a lot of people that believe that Nintendo games tend to get a little bit of a higher score than than the average or whatever, and that's okay.
Know these developers for Nintendo. We never heard of them.
I never heard of them. Never even heard of them.
But they're
great.
But
apparently, so yeah, I think that's something that hey, good for them. They're able to continue to do that. But I mean, look, Nintendo's always done like very interesting stuff that way. So I like what Nintendo's doing. I like what I'll even go out on a limb and say I like what Microsoft is doing long term. I still don't think they're going to have anything short term for people, but I think long term that they'll be fine.
Absolutely.
Supposedly they're 46 million Xbox One sold or whatever. That's not like at the end of the day, if that number is true, Mooch, that's much better than what probably what they deserve. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like with their lack of games and stuff. So that's kept them viable, and then stuff with like Game Pass. But again, I always felt that Game Pass, and this is where I would kind of differ from what a lot of people are saying. And I saw this take on Twitter and some other places. Like, I feel like Game Pass really helps out smaller games and stuff like that get seen. Yeah. And I feel like if PlayStation Now was ever to do a day and date, that games like Concrete Genie or Medieval would do good in their day and date.
Absolutely.
Whereas something like God of War and Uncharted, like those obviously, in my opinion, don't belong in their day and date, but maybe later on down the line. And speaking of which, remember, so it's like Death Stranding is also going on PC, and people kind of flipped out about it, right? And it's like, well, this was announced to be coming to PS4 and PC before it even had a name.
Right.
Like, I remember that. So to me, it's not a big deal, but at the very least, it's like a 6-month exclusive thing on console. That gives you, as a console owner, a little bit of a reason to have your console, right? And I'm fine with that. Like, I've gotten over the whole PC stuff. Like, okay, well, it's going to PC as well, whatever. But it's like, at least you got some kind of buffer there on PlayStation. You know what I'm saying? So I don't have a problem with that. Right.
Here's the thing, though. Look at what they're doing with PS Now, Crap. So they put in God of War, and they put in one of their other big ones that they had. Was it Uncharted 4? But now in January, they're taking them out.
Yeah. And they did get 1 million. Do you find it funny that they announced the numbers? 1 million PlayStation Now subscribers. I mean, that's you would figure that they maybe be a little bit
business.
Yeah,
say it's old school. It's not old school. Like, go up to anybody who owns a restaurant. Like, how many tables? New York City is literally based off of this. How many tables did you set yesterday? You know what they'll say on a Saturday night?
What?
650 tables during prime time.
Yeah.
Okay? If somebody's going to be like, well, we had 400 people that were actively thinking of eating.
Yeah.
What? What does that mean?
Hey, I agree.
How much shrimp do I need to buy? I can't tell if they were actively hungry. Who sat at the table and bought it?
What I would love to actually see the breakdown of is the number of people that are downloading the games versus the ones that are streaming. I bet most of them are downloading the games, like that. And that's going to be a thing going forward. We're going to have to see. Isn't Stadia? When is that shit launching?
Oh, well, crap. I'm so glad you brought it up. Okay. It's launching in 16 days.
Is it? No, nobody's even talking about it. Like,
they
holy
don't need
crap.
to.
No?
No, who needs to talk about it? Crap, here's the thing. This is literally launching, okay? Like you said it yourself. I'll agree with you.
Yeah.
It's launching with no true hardcore exclusives. But what it's launching with is the capability of taking these games that we have been talking about for the past 2 months and moving forward, new games, new titles, taking them on the road and playing them on your device. Now, I'm excited to see this. I'm excited to try this out. I'm telling you, crap, it's a soft launch, okay? Yeah. This is not the real deal. Comes out next year when they have their free service launching, because you had to pay to get into this. Okay. Yeah. So when they have the free one launch next year, they better, and I'm telling you, crap, I'm going to hold them to the fire. Okay. They better get a lot of this nonsense out of the way. Like, I want to see it on iOS. Okay. I want to see it so that you don't have to plug the phone into the controller. I want to see some of these things worked out. And then I'm giving them 2-3 months, 4 months max till they do the true launch. And then after that, then the gloves are off, crap. Okay. So I'm not sitting here defending it. I'm just telling you, at this point, I'm going to be able to take games like Borderlands. I don't know if Jedi Fallen Order's on there or whatever, but I can go grab that game or those types of games that are coming out. Those are single-player games. I can take them on the road. And there's a lot of times, crap, I get it. But I just want you to put yourself in my shoes for a second. Yeah. Okay? There's been 2 or 3 weekends as of late. On Saturday, I've had to hit the road.
Yeah.
And it sucks, because don't get me wrong, Luigi's Mansion 3, very good game. So it's going to prove, Luigi's Mansion is going to prove me wrong here, crap. But typically, I don't want to play Mario Odyssey or Legend of Zelda on the road. I don't. I just don't. But I will play Borderlands 3. I will play Destiny 2. I will play those games on the road.
So you got to buy them over again, though, right?
Yeah, that's not going to be pretty. But I mean, I got to make a decision here, crap. I need to make a conscious decision. You guys know I'm not in the runnings for trophy or achievement hunter of the year. My name's not up there. So frankly, if it's a single player game, let's just use Jedi Fallen Order for it's a good conversation piece because everyone's excited about it. Yeah. If that game's coming out, okay, this was coming out in November, late November, crap, or is it early December for Jedi Fallen Order?
It's November.
Right? Okay.
I think it's coming out.
I think it is soon. too. Yeah, very soon. That's a game that if it was on Stadia day and date, when I would contemplate making that my guinea pig game and trying it out, because I'm not playing that with anybody else. That's a me game. So I could play it on any of my TVs. I could put it in my living room and play it on my couch. I could bring it up in my room and play it over there. I could hook it up. I could hook up my Chromecast to any device I have and play it there. So I could play it wherever I want. I mean, why not?
Well, I'm just saying, like, for me, I don't know. That's like, isn't it something about just being hooked up to Xbox or PlayStation? It just seems something more robust to me or something like that.
I know where you're coming from. I don't think the word's robust. I think you'll ride with me with this one, crap. I think what you're looking for is comfortable. And what I mean by that is it's nice. I still say this, even though I've been playing some more games on PlayStation, I still feel very comfortable on the Xbox ecosystem. You have your dedicated friends there, both friends you've met online and through YouTube and Twitter, and then your real life friends that you've been playing and gaming for ages with. And it just feels like it's a community. And I'm sure Sony guys will say, I feel that on PlayStation. That's fine. But yes, you're right. With Google Stadia, especially the first 3-4 months. Yes, I know a couple of people. I know Weckless, and I know J-Dub, and I think a couple other guys got that. A few others may even been writing me saying, I know Nintendo. A couple of these guys that I've reached out to and I've been talking to them, we're going to link up. But you're right. It's going to be a very, very small community. But I don't think I'm going to be playing multiplayer games on that. Even then, when I play Destiny 2, I'll be doing small things that I can do on my own and then just transfer that data over to my Xbox character to play with friends. So
Yeah, you know what? I mean,
I'm using it more as
get,
a tool, Crap.
I get it, but I'm
a
just not
gaming
sure
tool.
how much applicable use you're going to actually get out of it long term. You know what I mean? Just
You're
that's always
right.
been that's always just been kind of my thought about it. And I think that Stadia can't survive by just people using it when they're on the road. You know, that
Right.
couple of times that they're on the road or whatever.
Right.
T-Rock 40
Shout out to
says,
T-Rock.
can Stadia survive as a standalone service long term without Call of Duty or Madden for casuals?
Again,
Like,
it
that's
depends.
a problem.
It is a problem, Crap. But again, is Stadia focused on grabbing the multiplayer space? I think eventually they want that space.
I mean, they claim that they have great multiplayer, but it's funny that they never,
Well, here's the thing,
tested that or anything.
Crap, we complain. Listen, all of us complain. YouTube's down, or I'm having a hard time with YouTube, and I get it. I get it. But when you look at the 7 billion videos that are going up on YouTube servers, Google servers every day, every hour, every minute, I mean,
many of them are mine. So
they are Craps. Absolutely. So we got it in the flash right here. Absolutely. That's a great point, Crap. But you know, I'll tell you something. They have the infrastructure to be able to hold this kind of content. You know, we complain about, we've been doing podcasts now, Crap, for 5 years, okay, 6 years. All of a sudden, one goes down next week, and we're like, that gosh darn YouTube, so undependable. That's not reliable. And we're like, well, we've done like 7 million podcasts. We've had 3 oopses, okay?
Yeah.
So, I mean, shit happens.
I think it'll run fine for what it is. I just don't think that it's something that, obviously that I can't really run. That's not really how I want to play my games. But, if it works for people, then I think that's cool. I always worry about the long-term stuff with that. You know what I mean? Like game preservation and ownership and modding and this kind of stuff.
I don't worry. Crap. I don't listen, and don't get me wrong. I'm not going to be able to talk that worry out of you, but I got to be honest with you. We're at a point right now where that conversation is the same thing as 2013 being like, how can I play if I don't have an internet connection? Listen, if you don't have an internet connection, I don't know what to tell you, okay?
There's a console for you.
There's a console for you, and there's also a state you should move to.
Yeah,
okay?
Florida.
There's 48 out of the 50 states have some pretty gosh darn good internet. Move over there.
I mean, there's probably some around here, but it's like, I got to be honest, because I know people are like, oh, well, crap, it's because you don't have the best internet. But even if I had like the top of the top, it's not how I want to play my games.
It's not your bag. Yeah. I get it.
It's just, it's like, and especially like if you're very competitive into online games, I got to imagine that that's not going to be good for you. Most of us look at like the input time on our TVs and our monitors, and you know what I mean? Like no matter what they do with these things, it's like you have to enter when you press a button that goes across the internet, goes to their servers, and then it does, and then it moves it and then back to you. You know what I'm saying? It's like, so that there's obviously going to be some kind of input like always there, unless they're doing the thing where it's moving it for you. Like, oh, we think you're going to do this.
For you.
Oh yeah, they're moving it for you, dude.
What kind of person would plunk down $60 to play a game and then throw the controller down and be like, boy, I'm doing great.
Hey, it's I forget what they call it.
I've never gotten a high score like that.
Smart movements or something like that.
T-Rock
something
40
like
says,
that. I don't know.
Not worried about, I think he means infrastructure. Will EA and Activision okay it? Listen, EA is now on Steam, Crap.
EA is on. I doubt that they do.
Shout out to T-Rock and Rock Dog, by the way. Thank you for both of you guys. We know the super chat's working. I appreciate it.
Pay my channel a visit. I haven't seen a super chat in months. God.
We miss you, Crap. Right? But I mean, Crap, EA's going to Steam. So
yeah, I mean that's it. That's because their own thing kind of failed, right? They got kind of beat by the Epic Store. Epic Store really showed people how it's done. Oh, look at you, man! You got all kinds of super chats.
That's
Damn.
The Cure. Listen, it's funny. So shout out to the Cure. I just saw his tweet earlier this morning, and Boom was tweeting him. I was saying it's a new and upcoming channel. Cure, I appreciate you stopping by. He says Sony has action adventure games on lockdown. Microsoft is differing themselves by filling the RPG void that Bethesda and BioWare left open in the market with Obsidian and Exile and Playgrounds RPGs. See, I'm seeing a lot more people say that crap, but I'm not sure.
Here's the thing.
I don't think Bethesda's just going to lay down and take it like
here's the thing. I saw the Windows Central article was like with Bethesda taking a back seat. Can Microsoft step in there with these? And it's like, let's be real, okay? In Exile does like these Bard's Tale. And what is that top-down isometric wasteland stuff. Like console gamers aren't really big into that kind of stuff, right? Then you have Playground. Yeah, they're gonna make Fable. they haven't made any other game besides the racing game. So we have to wait and see. So it's hard to just go, oh, will it for sure be this, or this? And with Obsidian, sure, they made Outer Worlds, and I guess that's okay. Like, it's not my thing, and hopefully they do something else. But at what point, I mean, would Microsoft have even greenlit Outer Worlds if it was their own IP? First of all, there's no multiplayer or co-op, right? Second of all, there's no microtransactions whatsoever. Yeah. And so apparently the new game that they're working on has those things. So I wouldn't be surprised if the next Fable also has those things. And again, Wasteland is a game that's, you know, sort of like how the original Fallout was with that top-down type of situation.
Yes.
But I can imagine that mostly, if not all of those studios that Microsoft has are going to be doing some kind of like transactions and like co-op or something, because they want people paying as much as they possibly can, you know, even though they say they give freedom. And I believe that, I still think that they have to bow down to some kind of
Crap. You said something. This though. I want to ask you a question about In Exile, Crap. Now they're making Wasteland 3, right? Which, don't get me wrong, I've seen a lot of people touting how much better it is than their previous. But here's the thing: it's that's an RTS, is it not?
No, it's a top-down isometric RPG, like a old school PC RPG. Stuff that Guddang, that Sully probably plays, isn't that right, Sully?
Yeah, I like Wasteland 2. I didn't care for the first one, but Wasteland 2 is a little bit better. So
yeah, I think I have Wasteland 2, and I played it for about 10 minutes, and I was like, this sucks. And then I turned it off.
The Wasteland, we know what it is. Wasteland 3 with that, and Wasteland 2, that reminds me a lot of the way Fallout 1 and 2 were, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah, see, that's not my bag at all. I can't get into that. So for me personally, shout out to the Cure again. He says, I think Bethesda will fight back for sure. I do think Microsoft's going for the RPG crown. I'm not sure about that, the Cure, because here's the thing. Crap just said it himself. You're looking at Obsidian's latest game in Outer Worlds, and you're like, that's what they're doing. Not really. Yeah. They bought Obsidian when the Outer Worlds was at 90% complete, you know?
Yeah.
So
I mean, let's not give Microsoft credit for that. Let's be real.
That's the thing. You know, I want to see exactly. I want to see what Obsidian does after Microsoft puts their fingerprints on it and say, listen, this has got to be more like games as a service. Like all the things you see all the things we're finding right now in Outer Worlds. There's the helmets and the gear and the upgrades and this and that, and it's all in game. Yeah. That, my friend, I believe is all going to be a la carte. Come Outer Worlds 2. I think that's all going to be pay as, you know, you want the fancy helmet? No problem. $5.
Yeah.
You want the fancy socks? No problem. $7. Why are the socks more than the helmet? Don't know. Nobody knows, right? Nobody will ever know that.
Just look at Bleeding Edge, right? Bleeding Edge is like, again, I feel bad for that game too. Did you see Overwatch 2 got announced?
I did see that. And I think that's kind of a kick in the junk, to be honest with you, because a lot of people were saying that Bleeding Edge had the opportunity to maybe take some of those people over because they were getting bored of it. There goes that.
Now, keep in mind, I don't like Overwatch anyway, but I just think that Overwatch 2
I don't either.
Looks good for what it is. You know what I mean? I guess they got some single player
I got hyped about Diablo 4, Crap, huh?
I'm not really a Diablo fan. And I know I played it. Remember, we played through it, and I never even knew what the hell was going on.
Well, that wasn't fair. That was when we were playing I believe they call them, is that the raids? I didn't do that. That was the raids, and that was kind of, we were purposefully trying to level you up quickly, Crap.
Yeah.
That was a chaotic mess in my personal opinion. But Diablo 3, so when it first came out, I don't believe it was available day one on Xbox and PlayStation. Please correct me if I'm wrong. I bought it on.
It was a 360 game at first, right?
Yes, it was. Yes,
because I have a 360 version of that. Yeah.
Well, I bought it on my Mac. On my iMac, because I didn't have a gaming PC back then. So I bought it on Mac. It came out, I believe, 2 weeks after launch, came out on Mac. I bought it. I beat it. Then I bought it on 360, and I beat it again with a different character. Then I bought it, and then I did I think it was a transfer program or a transfer up program where you could bring the game in, and I got the Xbox One version, and I beat it again. I love Diablo. I really, really, truly do.
That was
Diablo
one of those
4.
early games where Phil went out and was like, hey, well, you can get 1080p with this. Remember?
Absolutely.
Remember when Phil gave a shit?
That was when
those were the days.
Somebody play some music. Yes. Please. We've got 4 voicemails, Crap. I do want to.
Well, no, listen. I mean, think about it. Okay, the biggest game of the year is Call of Duty, and it has the worst frame rate on the Xbox One X.
It's troubling.
You know,
it's troubling.
Yeah,
I'm sitting there every time I turn on my X. I feel like I do have the latest and greatest in console technology, and then you have Digital Foundry comes out, basically slaps that feeling right out of your hand.
Yeah, they do. They're like, hey,
Mooch, you enjoying that? You might want to sit down, buddy.
Yeah, you got
Yeah.
The PS4 base runs better frame rate.
This is why I never played. What's that game crap at the casino where you throw the dice and you got to hit the lucky 7 all the time?
What
Craps?
the hell? Yeah, craps. Yeah.
Right? So I never played that. You know why? Because every time I roll the dice, it's never a 7. And let me tell you what I'm talking about. Put it in gaming terms for you. What do I do when I get the option? I actually got 505 games. Very, very grateful for 505 games. It gave me the review copy for Control. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I saw that they were going to have more content available on the PlayStation 4, and I figured, well, the game, you could see that Remedy Games crap has always been kind of aligning themselves since they left the Xbox bubble after Quantum Break. They've been aligning themselves with Sony. I'm like, they're probably going to get the special treatment and everything like that. I go ahead and get Control on PlayStation 4. What do you know? It's got the worst visuals. It's got the worst this, the worst that. Better on the X, right? So then I got Call of Duty, and I'm like, well, where do you get Call of Duty? Somebody's like, hey, I'll Mooch you. Where do you want to play it? I said Xbox One, of course.
Yeah.
Right? And people are like, well, you know, Mooch, you could get it for PlayStation because it's cross-play now. So you can play with your friends. I go, yeah, but that's a bit tedious because you can only play in game chat. There's no actual party chat because if I'm cross, platform. Oh, good point. Yeah. I get the Xbox One. What happened? The word, I shouldn't say worse, but not the better performance, not the better this. But you know what? I just can't hit the lucky 7 crap.
Yeah.
I can't do it.
I get you. Who do we got on the old voicemail redo?
Who do we got? Sully!
We got up first. We got Barry Big Plums.
Barry Big Plums. All right, let's hear it.
Let's hit Barry up.
Let's hear it.
Here we go. Barry Big Plums.
What's up, Mooch, Crap and Sully? Barry Big Plums here, checking out The Last of Us 2 trailer, which was recently dropped with a release date of February 2020. And watching this trailer, it's really made me think back over this last generation with the Xbox One. Just looking at the way the game animates, the gameplay, the characters in the game, the story, that is really what has been missing this generation from the Xbox One titles. Bear in mind The Last of Us 1 itself was a PlayStation 3 game. You just look at an exclusive on the PlayStation platform and it just really does blow everything else away. Sony really, really just know how to hit these bangers, man. I'm currently playing Yakuza 0. I'm about to go into Judgment. These games are just so far ahead. Sony just really, really nailed the single-player gamers. And I've been trying to play Xbox One recently a lot, and the online's broken. I'm just getting to that point now, guys. I'm sure, like everyone else is, that I'm probably going to go that PlayStation 5 route, you know what I mean? Hopefully, Xbox can really pull something out of the hat, but when you see trailers like this, you really do think that Sony have got the win before the next console generation even starts. So anyway, guys, love the show. I'm really, really, really looking forward to The Last of Us 2. And this is Plums. Catch you later.
And that was Barry Big Plums. And to be fair, that was an older voicemail. These voicemails are from a couple weeks back. So just letting you folks know that.
What do you think, Mooch?
Well, I got to be honest with you guys. Unfortunately, I was just writing Sully. Sully, you're gonna have to resend me those downloads because I couldn't hear that at all. When I went to go play it on my end, it just won't play.
Damn it! I was just hoping that you heard it because I couldn't hear shit.
No, did you hear it at all? I can't actually pull it up. I can't pull it up.
What was his question, Sully?
Basically, he was praising he saw the Last of Us 2 trailer. He was talking about, when they previewed the Last of Us 2 trailer and the release date. So there was a couple weeks back before they delayed it. Yeah. So that's why I had to mention that little thing at the end. And he said he's probably going the PlayStation 5 route next gen because Sony's giving them that reason. That's pretty much what he was saying. So
yeah, I've talked to Barry a couple times on Xbox Live, and he was disenchanted with the lack of exclusives and stuff like that. So I can definitely relate to the guy and stuff like that. And again, The Last of Us 2 is still a really big game to be coming out. When you look at the games that are coming out, you have The Last of Us 2 and Ghost of Tsushima, and of course Death Stranding still coming out. And on the Xbox side, it's like Flight Simulator and the hell else do we got coming out, Mooch? Bleeding Edge, right?
Bleeding Edge and Battletoads.
Battletoads, yeah.
Battletoads!
Nobody cares about those games. You know what I mean? It's like, and when I say nobody, I don't mean literally nobody. I'm sure that there are a couple people that are like, I'll give them a try. But, for the most part, nobody's like tripping over themselves to play those. Like The Last of Us 2 broke records for pre-orders. Like people really want to play that. Microsoft really needs to step their game up and kind of give people some reason they kind of get excited because I haven't seen that excitement pretty much this whole generation. From, you know what I'm saying? They haven't really given anybody anything to be excited about, and they need to, focus on that instead of like maybe have you noticed like they always hype up their own events like XO. Like Greenberg's like, we're gonna be about games, and you just know it's gonna be like.
I've said this a number of times, Crap. I'm gonna say it again. Aaron Greenberg is. I don't want to use the word least favorite executive. It doesn't matter. That's irrelevant to anything. Yeah. But I mean, he's the one that when he tweets something out, I'm always like, if somebody passed me the salt and pepper, I don't care. You know, it doesn't matter.
I mean, listen, like. The thing is they hype up all these things and then they never deliver. And maybe next E3, but I'm not going to be that guy that talks about the next E3 anymore, you know?
Well, next E3 and Crap, I know it's become a famous pun now, and it's just a funny, comical thing to say. But let's be honest, when you're having a hardware release, whether it's Sony or Microsoft or anybody, even Nintendo, they're going to show you some software. It's just
I'm sure.
It's peanut butter and jelly, buddy. You know what I mean?
To.
It's the way they go together.
Yeah.
It's you can't be like, here's the hardware for a new generation.
Yeah.
By the way, we're not going to show you anything till next year.
And to be fair, like I'm pretty good at calling this kind of stuff, right? So I think Game Pass has had positives and negatives. I think it's a good value and stuff, but there's also negatives, like with the launch of a console. They're not, even if they had, let's say they had 4 games ready, they're not going to launch all 4 games on that day because they have to get stuff in Game Pass throughout the year.
Right.
Okay. So I think that they're like, people are like, what do you think the Xbox Scarlet's going to launch with? And I'm like, Halo. Well, what else? That's probably it. You know what I mean? They might have a Forza coming out in April of the following year. You know what I'm saying? Or May or whatever. You know, like they don't have a lot of stuff. Like people don't understand, like the games that we're getting is a heavy dose of Gears, Forza, and Halo over and over again, you know, and hopefully they get it right. And again, I could tell right away that, like, and this isn't to knock Gears of War, but did you see that article from Windows Central about it? About how it's Gears of War 5 is broken and the online is messed up and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it's like people are just now coming to talk about stuff that I was talking about from the beginning. That's kind of sad to me. You know what I mean? Like, why was it so taboo to talk about there being problems with it? They really kind of ran that game like a free-to-play game, to be honest with you, or a low-cost mobile game. Like, most people could get it for $1, and they loaded it up with microtransactions and all kinds of crap like that. And so I don't really think that game's indicative to run like that. Like, do you think it's odd that game's come out and we've had one announcement on player numbers?
I said it. I didn't make a big deal of it. But listen, when I saw the turnaround time, and Crap, this is something we talked about earlier with Forza years ago.
Yeah.
When I saw the turnaround time for Gears 5 to be that 2.5-year turnaround, something didn't seem right.
Yeah.
It just didn't seem right. And I still can't put my finger on it quite yet. I still can't. The only thing I can tell you to you guys, and to all you guys that enjoyed the heck out of Gears 5, I say bravo. I'm not going to take any of that thrill or that excitement away from you.
Yeah, listen, I'm not saying it's a terrible game by any means. For me,
I wouldn't have known any different if you said to me, okay, Mooch comes out of a bubble. I'm coming out of a bubble. I've been in a bubble for 3 years. And I play Gears. You put in Gears. You're like, I have the new Gears game, Mooch. Okay, great. And I play it. And you put in Gears 4. And then you're like, okay, all right, we're going to do a quick intermission, Mooch. Now get up, go get yourself a snack, come back. And when I do that, you take 4 out and you put 5 in. And you'd be like, okay, at the end of that, you'd be like, so what do you think is going to happen in Gears 5? I'd be like, well, I think this will happen. They'll be like, did you realize you just played 4 and 5? No, it's like, it felt like the same game. It looked like the same game. It felt like the same game. The multiplayer felt the same. I put about, I'm going to say roughly between 80 and 100 hours into the multiplayer in Gears 4. I really enjoyed it. I truly did. And then I went and you saw Crap. I got up to like level 30 or 31 in the tech test for Gears 5.
Yeah,
and I was excited. I'm like, let's do this. Let's see what we got.
Yeah.
All of a sudden I sit down and I'm like, wait, this is what I just did this for a little. I thought you were going to change it up a little bit. Like, I got news for you. I love the Last of Us multiplayer factions. Any of you guys that are following me on PSN can see that I'm playing that.
You've said that for years though. You know what I mean?
But Crap, the multiplayer better not just be a reincarnation, the same exact thing.
Yeah, I think it's going to have that and plus other stuff.
I guess. Better have some extra stuff, or you're going to hear me complain about that. But I mean, and I don't want to use the word complain because it's not about complaining. If you liked it, you liked it. But I just felt like it was too similar. That's why you say 2.5. People are like, Mooch, 2.5 years. That's impressive. And I go, well, it is impressive, but it launched very eerily similar in looks and feel to Gears 4. It
Yeah.
launched with
Well,
problems.
let me ask you this, because look, Gears 5 I think is better than Gears 4 in ways,
Absolutely.
but they're both 84 rated. Do you think that Gears 4 got overrated?
You know, it's funny you say that because I saw you mention it on Twitter. And
Yeah, like I'm just kind of curious
it's
because some people
interesting.
are,
Yeah.
like the name itself, like Halo and Gears, right? Like those are such powerful names in and of themselves.
Yes.
You have to wonder if they just carry that kind of weight, because I think like Halo 5 is a good shooter, but it's not a good Halo game, right?
Right.
And it's
right.
like Gears 4 is a good
Halo
cover-based
5. I
shooter,
mean,
but it's not.
I'm not a big Halo, like I'm not a Halo fanatic like Xbot or anything like that. I'm not. But Halo 5, when the Master Chief Collection came out, once they fixed the errors they had, I played through all 4 again, and I loved every. Actually, I played all 4, and I beat ODST when they gave it away for free. I'm still waiting for Reach.
Yeah.
But like my point being is like,
still, can you believe it that all these years later that they're still having problems with this stuff?
I don't get it. I just don't get it.
Yeah, I don't get
Do
it
them
either.
individually. We don't care. We don't care. But yeah, Halo 5, I got news for you, crap. That could be 4K. Halo 5 could be moved and bumped to 8K. I don't want to play Halo 5 campaign again.
It's bad.
For it.
Yeah, it wasn't. They tried to put a 9 Life says crap, give Microsoft some time. Bro, I've given them a lot of time. I'm not against giving them time. I'm busy with other stuff, I guess, until that point, man.
Well, I'm concerned about Halo Infinite, though, crap.
Yeah, listen,
what they're gonna do.
The thing I worry about it is, are they gonna really make? Yeah, like it needs a really good campaign, but they also need to avoid all that crazy microtransactions. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I got a feeling that it's going to be super games as a service, right? Maybe that'll suit you what you like, though. Maybe it's going to be more like Destiny or something. But yeah, I don't see how do these games do anything for them as a company, though. Okay, because in my opinion, Gears 5 probably cost $100 million to make and market. They had 3 million players, and you had to assume that most of those were Game Pass people that paid $1 or so, right? So how do they make anything back off of that?
I don't know.
Like with Halo, it's rumored that it's supposed to have been a $500 million budget. How is that going to make any money for them? Like, that's what I really am curious about.
That's what I'm wondering too. And you hear the numbers that come in and say, well, 3 million people stopped by. They didn't, not 3 million people bought, but 3 million stopped by from Game Pass and they played it. And that's fine. That's if everyone thinks that's a good number, fine, roll with that. But like you said, at $1 or $1.99 or even $4.99, everybody kind of got on when it was on sale, right? Everybody kind of hooked on to Game Pass when it was on sale for this game. At $1, $2, or $5, that's not nearly what it was when they were making the $60. So that's fine. But if you have, I said this, I said, even if we say Game Pass has 10 million subscribers right now, right?
Yeah.
If they have 10 million at, the $1 or $2, that's, 10 million, $20 million they've made off of that. Great. There's a lot of money that went out. It's not like Gears 5 is the only game in there.
Yeah.
Right? They paid $6 million to have the rights to this game and $8 million to have the rights to that game and $19 million to have another rights to Devil May Cry cost a fortune to have in there, right? These things cost a lot of money to put in there. And then Gears 5, like you said, is probably what, 75 million?
75 to 100 by the time you add in marketing and all that stuff.
etc. Right? So I mean, it's like Anthony Boyd. I don't know if he's referring to exactly what we're saying. Is it a loss? I mean, it may be something where they go, it's a loss leader right now, and they plan to make up for it on the back end. I don't know, but now you have all these other companies. Everybody is doing their own subscription base, right? And now Epic. Did you see the rumor? Crap.
What?
Epic Game Store is going to have their own version of Game Pass.
Oh, really?
Yes, but that's bad news for Microsoft. Because that's more games that if they're able to lock in, maybe those companies that have those third-party titles are not going to let those third-party titles now in the Game Pass. I don't know. But, I mean, it's going to get competitive out there.
It already was. Like, we weren't going to see EA games or Activision on Game Pass or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but if you start losing the Devil May Cries and you start losing the Capcoms and you start losing the Square Enixes, well, what is Game Pass really worth that to you now? Yeah. I mean, is it still worth the $10 a month? I don't know.
I mean, I don't use it. You know what I mean? But I mean, I hear some people do.
Yeah,
but it's like, it's like, but it's just one of those things that, for me personally, I'm just, if I really wanted to get a game, I guess I would just buy it or, mooch it or whatever. That's the thing, I don't know.
The hardcore are the ones taking advantage of all of these subscription bases. There's no way that you have a casual gamer paying $10 a month to Microsoft, $10 a month to Epic Games, $10 a month to EA, $10 a month to Square. They're
It's
not.
a lot of money.
They're
I mean,
not.
it adds up, though. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
if you were to do that. So, I mean, I can understand. Like, okay, PlayStation View, that's Sony's streaming service for TV or whatever. They're shutting down, right? There's just too much competition in that space, right? This is going to be a problem, I think, later on with all these different services and stuff like that, like the Game Passes and like Stadias and like, you know what I mean? Like, there's too much of it.
Yeah.
And I feel like the average person probably doesn't buy enough games to warrant paying $10 or $15 a month price
Right.
to multiple different subscription services. It just
Right.
it doesn't, like, it's
Well,
easy to
right.
go, well, I only get 2 games, and so, like, well, that's
Right.
great with Xbox Game Pass, but what if you want something else?
Right.
You know,
Well, here's
like,
the thing. So Greg E3, he says, Mooch, welcome to another subscription, Stadia. But here's the thing about Stadia. First of all, there's a free service. You don't have to pay the paid one at all. If you just want to play the game. Like, I like Stadia for the service. Crap, and a lot of other gamers are looking to Stadia for exclusives. I think the exclusives will come, but my point being is that
3 years from now,
well, that's what we're doing for Xbox.
I'm not doing that. I'm complaining like a bitch.
I know, but we can complain all we want. We can't make the sand drop in the hourglass any faster.
I guess,
So,
but I mean,
right?
at least they have a history of doing something. We
Well,
don't
I'm
know
just
anything
saying.
from
Well,
the Stadia
I think
side.
Google.
Of
Well,
things.
Google's probably buying. They're probably buying known companies just like Obsidian, etc. They're working out deals on the other side. So I mean, my point is, you're right. 3 years. I'll give you a three-year window. But a lot of Microsoft's games are going to be 2.5, 3 years out, and I think a lot of Stadia games are too. But when it comes to Stadia, first of all, I'll buy those games that I want, and then I own them on my account. I don't have to have a subscription base after that. I don't. I can play them on the go.
Yeah.
So
I can understand that. It's just like,
that's not the same thing.
Yeah.
I just think Game Pass is going. I said this a while ago. Nobody ever remembers it. That's fine. But I said Game Pass is going to run into an issue once the Capcoms and the Square Enixes and those games aren't allowed in there because they have their own.
Yeah, that's where that first party stuff comes in way more into play.
Right.
Like, they'll always be able to get like indies and crap. You see, they spent, what was it, 1.2 million or $1 billion on indie crap or whatever it is.
Yeah.
It's like, that could have been. They spent that on indies, but they couldn't spend $5 million on getting a proper Phantom Dust remake.
Right.
It just makes you just kind of shake your head a
Crap,
little bit.
Esky asked a good question. He says, Mooch, Crap, you think Xbox will announce a new studio at XO19?
No,
I don't think so. Here's the thing. I mean, if they do, Esky, it's a very small team.
Yeah.
Because that's something. Listen, E3 is a big deal this year. It's hardware, it's software, it's developing. Obtaining new talent. That's the new buzz. Those are some of the new buzzwords that all these companies are loving to do. Google, Sony, and Microsoft. So my point being is, if you see somebody obtained, I think it'll be even a lower scale than like Double Fine. It'll be lower, right? It'll be basically a Mooch and Crap production.
Yeah, hard to get lower than Double Fine, but
well, Mooch and Crap make great video games.
Yeah,
so,
we do. So
we can't mention if we've been obtained by Microsoft yet.
Yes.
But nonetheless, yes.
The money hasn't been ready yet.
So, Sully, if you are going to play another voicemail, those are not coming through. I'm not getting them. Is there a way that you can play them, and then there's a way to mute yourself so that only me and Crap can hear them through your side? Even if it's off of your phone, I don't care. Right now we're having a technical difficulty, but I want to hear them. I just don't want the audience to get feedback.
Yeah, there'll probably be feedback if I play it from my phone, because let me see if I can do this.
Well, you figure that. No, go ahead and figure that out, Sully. Let me know what you can do. I'm gonna address one typical. He goes. Don't get Mooch talking about Stadia. Like, listen, I'm not selling it to you guys. I'm literally selling it to myself. I personally think that Stadia is going to present a decent service. Listen, there's like 8 people right now that have xCloud, right?
Yeah.
Like 8 to 10 people. Of course,
have you noticed that we haven't heard any?
Nobody.
I know you're Stadia, but I have literally nobody's talking about Stadia or xCloud.
No, it's not. Well, first of all, xCloud, like I said, I'm joking when I say this, but there's such a small group of people testing out the alpha of xCloud. It's kind of like, that's the thing with xCloud. Yes, I'm already a customer there. So are you, Crap. Whether you want to use it or not, we're already part of the xCloud family, because the game, their pitch is the games you own, Crap, you could take with you. But what I'm saying to you is, I know you don't. But I mean, like, when it comes down to it, think about Back Compat. Remember when Back Compat was first announced? We're like, well, great. That's great. That means all my 360 games, I'm going to go home tonight and pop them all in and play them. They're like, well, hold on.
Yeah.
Hold the phone. Well, what do you mean hold the phone? It's an emulator, and I got the game already. Why can't I go home and play the game? And they're like, well, we got to get contracting. We got to reach out to the third-party vendors. We got to make sure the publishers are okay. That's a lot of work. That's a lot of paperwork, guys. So here you have xCloud. This is why I'm not that excited about xCloud. First of all, it's an alpha stage, which I don't know what the hell that means. I mean, nobody knows all. I mean, look at Fortnite's still a beta. Okay? So
unbelievable. Remember, we got the paid copies of that. I think somebody gave them to us. Remember?
We got them gifted. Yes.
Yeah, like the founders or whatever.
But still crap. It's still a beta. My point is, you never know how long alpha. So it's in alpha stage. There's very few people testing it. There's only 5 games. They're only first-party studios. Those are games that I typically do not want to replay over again, right? Where Stadia gives me, there's 14 countries, 30 games. All the new games that are coming out this fall and early spring are all going to be on there. And that's intriguing to me. I'm going to be able to play a game I've never played before on the go. I understand Crap's forte. It's not what he wants to do. I get it.
Hey, but, Eric Arazo says, are you guys buying Neo 2? Raider Nation, apparently.
Well, shout out to Eric and thanks for the super chat. I will be, I prefer to mooch it, Eric, to be honest with you. But yes, I'm going to be trying the Neo 2 beta, which is out, I believe, this weekend.
Yeah, that game's coming out, March 10th or something like that?
March 2020, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think that's pretty good because I think the first game was in development for like 7 or 10 years. It was originally announced as a PS3 game. And it took them a long-ass time to finish. So, yeah, it's going to be very interesting. Oh, apparently Sully sent us the proper email this time.
Yeah,
so.
I don't have the file on my phone. It's on my PC, but if I touch my PC and then try to send it to you here, it might mess up OBS and stuff in the background. So I don't want to really mess with it. But
I hear you.
Yeah.
Okay, well let's try and play one. Who do we got next?
We got Gray. Gray is next. So if you open up your emails, pop those open, and I'm gonna go ahead and play Gray.
Okay.
So,
here we go.
Here we go. This is Gray.
Boop boop.
Take a little while.
Hey, what's up, Mooch and Crap? I'm Gray. So I've been playing a whole lot of Gears of War. I know a lot of people are hating on the microtransactions and all that stuff, so I'm not gonna bring that up. But I've been playing Gears, like I said, strictly Horde. I did campaign and Horde. I'm not a multiplayer person at all. I just do Horde. So I'm trying to get this Horde achievement. And I notice it says to get to level 15 with each of the starting characters. And the picture of the Horde achievement shows Carmine in part of the achievement. But obviously Carmine is not part of the roster that the game came out of. So I'm wondering, what do you guys think? Do you think they took Carmine out? Because they still haven't announced the characters that are coming in next month. So I'm thinking Carmine was ready and they took him out so they can feed him to us later. You know how companies always do that. They cut content from the game and they give it to you at a later date. So anyway, I figured I brought this up to you guys. I haven't seen it in the news at all. And I don't know, I just thought it was pretty interesting. What do you guys think? Have a great day. Bye.
That was Gray, and keep in mind again, these voicemails are at least a couple weeks old. The next set of voicemails are a week old, so just letting you folks know.
Nice. So what do you think, Mooch? Mooch?
He's probably still listening to it.
I was still listening to it.
It's a long voicemail, kind of.
It's okay. I mean,
just under 2 minutes, yeah.
Guddang, help me out with a little bit of this. I pieced the first 40 seconds together. He's complaining about the artwork on the achievement is showing Carmine, right. But what was his endpoint?
His endpoints was saying that Carmine is not there on the original roster for the multiplayer. I'm thinking that's what he was meaning, and that maybe that they took him out and they're going to put him back in sometime later because that's how, they cut people from the game or cut content from the game.
Well, that's the thing, and I mean, it kind of goes back to our conversation crap we were having earlier, is I kind of feel like Gears 5 was, I don't want to use the word rushed, but I think Microsoft was kind of like, hey, Rod, how you doing? We're doing pretty good. We're making good time. Would you say maybe October 2019? October 2019! Yes, Rod, is there any way you could possibly have it ready? I could probably have it ready, but there's this and there's this. We'll have to either add it as a DLC later or we'll make it in the 6 because I don't have time for it. And it just felt like it kind of got rushed. And I don't know, like I said, it's even if you're a fan of the Gears genre, which I'm sure My God, there's tons of gearheads out there. You have to admit that when you played 5, whether you're talking about the multiplayer or the story, in the story crap, I mean, we said this before the game came out.
Yeah.
Like there's, no Marcus really involvement. The Marcus, he's almost like somebody in other games you go to after you collected something and you go hand it in. He's just there for like helping you out or leading you along the way or giving you a hint. He's no longer the main character.
Yeah.
Hashtag who's James? Hashtag where's James?
I was never a fan of any of those characters, though. Like, I guess I kind of get what they're trying to go for, but to me, they didn't have good enough characters, and maybe the times have changed where you can't have the kind of characters that they once had. But Gears was always like a dude bro shooter.
Oh yeah,
and I'm not saying that means you can't have women in it or whatever. I'm just saying it's like why it's almost like they were ashamed to have that anymore. You know what I mean? Like you can't have, like I said, they changed everything. A lot of things about the game. It was like about teamwork and brotherhood and all that. Like you saw the commercials, right? Like the original ones and stuff like that.
Yeah, the whole thing is just it's missing that whole emphasis on what Gears is.
The only Gears commercials I've seen for Gears 5 was one with just Kate and some woman singer.
I'll give you an example. I'll give you an example, crap. Terminator 2 versus the Terminator that came out this past weekend.
I've never seen any Terminator movie, but
That is a big shame on you, crap. I would hope before next week's show you watch at least 2.
2 is the best.
I've heard good things. Yeah,
it's great.
Yeah.
So here's the thing: Terminator 2, right? The T-1000. You got Arnold Schwarzenegger in his prime, right? Arnold was awesome. Arnold was just an awesome dude, and that's the thing. You had those guys in their prime. It was that kind of emphasis and structure. And then all of a sudden now you have like Arnold is just like the guy who's helping people along. He's kind of like Marcus in Gears 5.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you think about that? Do you see what I'm making that correlation?
I hear what you're saying.
Emphasis out.
I would have rather seen them pick up. I would have rather seen, I know people are upset now that I haven't seen those movies, but I would have rather them picked up right after Gears 3 had left off or maybe a few years later. And you know what I mean? Did something. I mean, look, I understand Dom died or whatever in a sacrifice, but it's the future, whatever. Maybe they cloned him or, you know what I'm saying? Maybe something. They could come up with something to get out of that, right? Like, I don't like the characters. There's not enough interaction. Like, okay, I'll give you a good example of this. Uncharted. We were both big Uncharted fans.
Absolutely.
Uncharted Lost Legacy was a decent game, but the banter just wasn't as good as when you have Sully and Nate, and you know what I'm saying? Yeah, it just wasn't as good.
It wasn't the same, and I mean that goes for anything. If you're gonna take something that's beloved and has an unbelievable following, and then you're gonna take everything you ask. If you ask all the people that are beloved Gears fans from about 2 years ago, what are the things you love? The top 3 things would be like Dom, Marcus, the fight against this and that, blah, blah. And then they're like, okay, so now here's our script. And then you let them read it and they're like, none of the top 5 things are on here. Yeah, I know, but we're going in a different direction.
Yeah.
Okay. You know what I mean? It's like, what do you want fans to say? Fans can't go into the coalition and be like, no, we demand it's this. So, you hear Gears fans right now, they're like, well, this is what it's all right. It's good. And it's like, well, yeah,
well, everyone's so quick to go,
what
you're just full of it. It's great, right? And then when you look at it, it's like, look, it doesn't take a genius to see that anybody can go on their Xbox, boot it up, and see the top played games, and it's I think it's out of the top 30, right? Like Madden 18 has more players, and I'm doubting that Madden 18 has a ton of players, right? So what's the deal with that? Honestly, I think that obviously it's pretty clear that Microsoft didn't want that game to kind of go away the way that it did, right? And there's lots of different things that you can go in there and blame, but I just think that when you try to casualize something, like, look, if you're not a Gears fan by now, there's not anything that they can do that's going to make you be a Gears fan and stick around. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like I never understood that. Like they might have played.
The thing.
They might have played the campaign and played a couple matches, but at the end of the day, you got to satisfy your core fan base.
Yeah.
And I don't think they did a good job of that. If you look at the forums, it's all full of people that are pretty pissed off. So, and those are the hardcore, and they're not there anymore, And it's like, I know, like people like me and Hellheimer and Grave and you, we never even finished the campaign.
No, I'm still on.
We always finish the campaign. I've always finished every Gears campaign. I've always put hundreds. This is the first Gears game that I haven't put hundreds and hundreds of hours into. Okay.
Yeah, no,
so
I'm with
there's
you.
something wrong. Even the last one, I put hundreds of hours into it. Right. So there is something wrong here. And I've made this bold prediction. And I know some people hate to hear this, but within the next year, I would bet that Rod Ferguson, quote unquote, retires. And we hear somewhere after that they're working on a new IP. I'm not saying they'll never do another Gears.
Well, no, I think, it's funny you say that, and a lot of people think all of a sudden you're being drastic. I don't think you're wrong at all. I think you're right, and I think you're going to see Gears 6 at the end of the Scarlet generation.
Exactly. They're going to do something else first and then give Gears a little bit of an extended break like they did Halo.
Yes.
Like they did Halo, 5-year break.
Yes.
So, and the reason being is, I guess, Gears is just not that big draw like it used to be. And the reason that Activision... Or excuse me, the reason that Epic gave Gears up or sold Gears to Microsoft was very simple. They said it was too expensive to continue to make, right? It was too expensive. So you have to take that for what it's worth. Failed Pyromancer says when Street Fighter 3 first came out, took a lot of the main roster out and forced people with the new roster. Third Strike put back characters because of fans.
Yes.
Yeah, look, like this is what I'm saying. Like fans really have to say so. I know a lot of people don't realize
like what
this.
we like because that's what we like. I mean, that's just the way it is. I'm telling you right now, Crap, you go into McDonald's, they take the Big Mac off the menu, people won't go back. They'll be like, maybe the Whopper's my choice now.
Yeah.
It's just the way it is. You can't take things off
I
the
like that
time to
Impossible
love.
Burger, but that's just me.
Well, that's a you thing. Absolutely.
Yeah. Again, I don't eat red meat, so
that's right.
That thing was pretty damn good.
That may be the one thing that, like, all of a sudden, if someone's reading my my obit,
people are super surprised.
CrapGamer
right?
didn't eat red meat. It's crazy.
Yeah, I don't eat red meat or pork, and then I also
really missing out on the chicken wings. I'm gonna tell you right now.
I like chicken wings.
Oh, you will do chicken wings. I thought you were off on the chicken too.
No. I like chicken and turkey.
All right.
So I eat those things. I just don't eat red meat or pork. So yeah, those are just my own personal things or whatever. I also never seen the Terminator movie, so there's that as well.
Crap! I really hope you watch it tonight.
Well, I'm watching the Ravens tonight. So.
Oh, that's right. Damn it.
Yeah.
But nonetheless,
we got to see Tom Brady fall down a couple times.
Be careful, Crap.
Hey, I'm just saying.
Tom Brady, they're on a roll this year.
I'm just playing. I'm not a vegetarian guy.
I'm not a vegetarian.
I just don't like red meat.
We have
another
voicemail, Crap. I'm not going to be able to listen to it live. I'm going to listen to it with the audience.
Yeah, who do we got there? Who's left?
We got Barry Big Plums and Omega's after that. But we got Barry Big Plums. So the second voicemail that
Sully, did you figure out how to play it so that we can hear it when it's if you mute yourself from the audience? Or no, that won't work.
It might have feedback. It's like I'm 80% sure there's gonna be feedback. It's gonna that high pitched sound.
It could be a high pitched sound.
Yeah,
could be a
80%. So I'm gonna. That's that first the second voicemail with Barry Big Plums. Those emails should work.
They do not.
They do not.
Fine. No.
Oh my goodness.
It's all right though.
Huh? That's strange. Yeah.
Crap, can you hear them?
No. Can I? No.
Oh, I thought he was listening to them already. No. Let me double check one more thing. You guys want to go ahead and
talk? We'll talk amongst ourselves. Is what you're trying to say.
There you go.
Go ahead, talk amongst yourselves. Crap. something we're pretty good at. We can do that.
Hey, what are we talking about?
Well, here's what we can talk about while Sully works on that. We can talk about Captain Stunuts making a glorious return.
Hey, $600 million.
Yeah. I mean, listen, Crap. Hey. I don't think we could sit here and say, now, Black Ops 4, right, did still do phenomenal numbers. I think it had 500 million.
Call of Duty's already the best-selling game this year.
Oh, absolutely. Well, so was Call of Duty Black Ops 4 last year.
Yeah, I mean, I like Black Ops 4. I like the multiplayer, but I'm just glad that they did bring back, and it looks great. The single player looks absolutely great. I think that they did such a good job with that, and I haven't had much time to dive in on the multiplayer yet, but I hear that it's really, really good as well. So, I'm excited that they did what they needed to. I told you though, Mooch. How long have I said people want boots on the ground and that single player campaign back? And now we got it.
I played the campaign, and really, I did it in honor of CrapGamer.
Yeah.
Because you told me all these years I've been missing out. Now I will say this much, okay? Look, first and foremost, everything that Mooch has always said about following Captain Stunuts around, boy, is it back, and it's right in your face. It's it's basically just following somebody around. But
Yeah.
I will say this much: it's a good story. Crap, it is a very good story. I did enjoy it. Getting a little feedback from Sully, I believe.
Yeah, I don't think I can make it work. I sent you guys resent the voicemail. Sorry about the feedback. You heard that? I was trying to make it work on my end. Sorry, guys. But
right.
double check your emails again. Let's see if I can get them to work now.
Well, let's see if I can make this thing work.
I think it works now.
Let's take a look and see here.
Here we go. I think we got it. I think I did it.
Well, look at that. Sully is a man of many talents, folks.
He is, man.
He really is. Let's see here. I just got this. Let me do a quick. We're gonna do an on.
I hope it should work. I'm crossing my fingers. It's too early in the morning. Actually, it's like.
It's not working for me. That's all right. I'll just do it live. Go ahead and play Barry. Play Barry Big Plums. His second message.
I'm sorry.
That's all right. I'll catch it. You know what we'll do, Sully? Once it's crap, can you hear it by chance?
I can.
Well, if you can, then that's great. You guys go ahead and start. Give me an extra 30 seconds at the end to hear it live.
Okay. All right. Here we go. This is Barry Big Plum's second voicemail. Here we go.
What's up, Mooch, Crap and Sully? Barry Big Plums here, checking out The Last of Us 2 trailer, which was recently dropped with a release date of February 2020. And watching this trailer, it's really made me think.
Hold up. That's the wrong one. Sorry, guys.
You sent me the Last of Us 2 one.
Yeah, no, it's. You know what happened? That the second voicemail, it's not on my PC. It got deleted. No wonder. Oh, I gotta go. That voicemail's not gonna be up till next week. I gotta go ahead and re-download the audio and stick it onto OBS.
That's all right. It gives me more. That just gives me more time to talk about Call of Duty.
We got Omega.
Yeah, we can just talk. We can do the Omega.
If you want. Yeah, you can do Omega's.
Go ahead, do Omega then. Let's get Omega on there. I want everyone that calls in, guys. Please do call in. I know we haven't had an M&C in 4 weeks, so what we're doing now is just getting all the kinks out real quick. So we're doing it all in one show.
Yeah, let's hear Omega.
Go ahead, hit Omega up.
This is Omega.
Hey guys, how's it going? Hope you're doing well. I just wanted to quickly comment on what is going on at 343 Industries involving Halo Infinite. Now, obviously, right now, they are just rumors, but if these rumors come to fruition, I see this as being a very bad thing, actually, for Halo. Now, I don't mean to give as much clout to these directors as the example I'm going to give, but you can use the same thing. Now, something I'm really looking forward to next month is the movie The Irishman. You have Scorsese bringing the band back together, Robert De Niro, Al Pacino, and Joe fucking Pesci. Now imagine if during the process of the filmmaking of this movie, because it's going to be a big movie with a big franchise and a big director. Now imagine if some rumors came out where Scorsese lands Irishman out November 2019. Scorsese drops out of Irishman. Francis Ford Coppola picks up The Irishman looking to fix it. Francis Ford Coppola drops out of The Irishman, movie potentially in turmoil. My main thing is, obviously, if these rumors are coming to fruition and if they're actually true, if the directors are leaving, I can only see this potentially as maybe a bad thing, obviously, because maybe the gameplay isn't shaping up the way they want to, or the director's vision isn't really aligning what the studio wants them to do and Xbox wants them to do. My main thing of what's going on as well is if these rumors are true and if the game is actually a little bit in turmoil, my main problem with this is I don't feel Phil has the gall to delay the game or delay the game any further. He's going to obviously use Halo as a stepping stone to get people to buy the new Xbox, even though you can play it on your other Xbox as well. But I don't think he's going to have the gall to delay the game, especially, which then leads to my problem, because if he doesn't delay the game, if it is where we think it is, then I'm worried that we're going to either have a lackluster campaign and or potentially a broken experience. Anyways, I'd like to bid you adieu. That's a goodbye and good night.
And that was Omega. So
he basically is talking about 343 and the directors and stuff like that have been leaving and how it's probably not a good thing. Okay. And that's something that I kind of brought up as well. It's like, it's a little bit strange. He brings it up and says something, maybe it's something where they aren't living up to what the studio wants them to do. My question is this: you have what's happened with Gears 5, which is people abandoning a flagship franchise literally a month into the release, okay, and it drops out of the top 30. You can't have that happen with Halo. Like they could be scrambling to make adjustments so that doesn't happen. You see what I'm saying? Like you can't have a Halo game drop out of the top 30. Now, granted, Halo's a little bit more widely received than Gears of War, but it's pretty clear to see you can't go this whole mobile gaming route where low cost of entry and a lot of microtransactions and stuff like that. I think this Halo is going to have all eyes on it. If it's good, it needs to be good. It needs to be really good.
Crap, this is the no one everyone hates this in gaming. Everyone's like, please don't say it's to say all be all. Please don't say it's to say all be all. But in this case, I've got to be honest with you. Halo I think they're on call a bit here. I think they're on the hot seat. I think Halo Infinite's got to deliver. And listen, listen. Tell me what you guys think about this, and I'm interested in the chat as well, guys. Okay, so Halo had a really poor, for the most part, guys. Okay, for the most part, Halo 5 was a very poor reception to the single player, but it was a very good multiplayer. So they have that, right? But when people think about Halo 5, they still think of it as kind of like, not one of the better ones. So you can clearly see that the campaign and the single player mean a lot. They already have a bona fide multiplayer. Now, they did this with Gears where they made the multiplayer almost identical going from 4 to 5. Okay, what I'm saying is if you already have something that's fantastic and you have that ground, what do they call their version of ground war? I can't remember what Halo called it. Warzone, right? They've got that. That's perfected to a certain point. Now, start off with Warzone and the Forge and allowing people to make their own maps and having all those great multiplayer, right? Here's what I'm saying to Halo 343. Please concentrate on making one hell of a single player because it's the single player that's going to make or break Infinite.
They've got to make sure that it's focused largely on Chief and not a bunch of that other crap. Like, let's just be real. Nobody cared about those other characters.
Crap, it's the same syndrome that we're talking about from just the last topic on the show. And that was them getting rid of Dom and getting rid of Dom, we lost early on, but I'm saying getting rid of Marcus Phoenix as a main character in Gears. Yeah. So you cannot take Master Chief that far out of the game like they did in Halo 5. They saw that hurt them. And you might go, well, they learned their lesson, Mooch. Well, did they? Because if they learned their lesson, would the Coalition have done the same thing?
Yeah, that's exactly my point as well.
That's where I'm concerned moving forward. I think they will rebound.
9 Live says Halo Infinite will be a 90 meta.
Oh, don't start that again.
Can we get a bet going?
No, don't go there, Crap.
Oh, man, I could get me another game, dude.
Crap I was going to say, you'll end up in an entire system of Scarlets.
I know, right?
Yeah. You'll have like a Scarlet in every room. Let's put it this way. I think the 343 is, and I use the words on notice very lightly. I don't mean that like in a very hostile situation. By no means. They're going to do just fine. But the question is, how fine will they do, Crap? And that's the thing about it that kind of concerns me a bit is I'm a bit concerned about Halo Infinite. Here we are. We haven't seen anything about it. I don't trust
Bonnie Ross. First of all, she's the head of that studio. And she hasn't really
What was Bonnie Ross's involvement with Bungie? Did she ever have anything to do with Bungie?
I don't think so. I honestly don't think so. So, we're just at one of those types of situations where if you look at the last 3 games that she's been the head of the studio for, you have Halo 4, which had a really good campaign but lackluster multiplayer, Halo Master Chief Collection, which was broken and still is, and Halo 5, which has like the worst campaign in the history of Halo. So, there are a lot of bad situations and bad things to kind of look at in terms of what they've done. They've really got to rebound and put things together for the next one. I hope so anyway,
Yeah, I mean, you see it all the time with sports teams. Sports! But I mean, I got to be honest with you, Crap, okay? Like, the minute a coach doesn't, like I'll give you an example. The New York Mets coach, he just got let go. Mickey Callaway got let go because it's not that he was necessarily a bad coach, but you can see he's got an unbelievable amount of talent on his team, and he hasn't been able to break into the playoffs 2 years in a row. Now, my point being is 343 has a tremendous amount of talent. We know that, Crap. They have one of the largest studios in gaming, right? They're big time. So all of a sudden you have, like you just said, the oops and flubs of Master Chief Collection. Halo 5, one of the worst campaigns, debatable, but it's still one of the worst campaigns. People will even tell you in the Xbox Halo community. Right? It's flub after flub. And you're saying now if this ends up being a bust, why is it that Microsoft doesn't replace people as heads of studios? Why don't you do that? Why don't they make a move to make it better? Like, teams do this all the time. I actually like Mickey Callaway. I thought he was a decent coach. But guess what? He wasn't getting the job done.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. It's professional. It's business. Out he goes. In comes a new skipper. My point being is that's the thing. And I don't understand why we don't see this happening with certain developers in the gaming world, not just to pick on Microsoft, in any sector.
Yeah, I don't know.
Right? I don't really get it. I mean, it's the only industry. That's why everyone's like, I love this industry. No kidding. You get 85 strikes before you're out.
Yeah.
You know?
I wish I knew. I think we'll see something different with this one.
Well, Rock Dog says Bonnie Ross has a good boss now in Matt Booty, but Matt Booty's not making 3-4-3 decisions. Can he come in and make a decision? I bet you he can. But we all know that those guys at Microsoft, they don't step on each other's toes like that, Rock. They just don't. You know, like there's no way. Rod Ferguson is a great team player with Microsoft Studios, but I don't think Rod's really going to take anybody's crap coming in from above him, being like, Rod, scratch Act 2 and 3. We want it to look like this. He'll be like, okay, it can look like that. I'm out. You know, so these guys, that doesn't really happen. So Matt Booty taking charge there. He's not. I don't see him coming in and telling Bonnie Ross how to run her ship. This is her ship right now. She's going to run it. If the ship sinks, you need a new captain. And that's business 101, right? That's happening from one side of the globe to the other. So it is what it is, Crap. I'm confused on why there hasn't been a move there yet. But maybe this is her third strike. I don't know.
It might be. Like, I just don't see the passion there. Like Dan Greenewalt for Turn 10, for example, right?
Oh, the passion.
The passion
pouring
is
out
there.
of that
Yes.
guy.
Rod Ferguson, passionate, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Who was that? The other guy, the British guy for Playground, passionate guy, right?
Yes.
Like the gamer boss, what's his name for Rare?
Craig Duncan.
Yeah, passion, right?
Passion.
With Bonnie Ross,
I think he wears a pirate
nothing.
patch all the time now.
Exactly, he's a pirate. So I mean, listen, you got to have that passion to do that, and I just don't really see that with her. So
I don't, and I got to be honest with you. When they had the Halo, listen, everybody that does presentations that's in the audience right now or listening to the show later, like when you're the head or the lead on any team, I don't care what we're talking about. I don't care if we're talking about video games, ice cream. I don't care. I just don't care. Like, the fact that Bonnie Ross didn't take the stage last E3 was really shocking to me.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you go out there? It was such a small segment, too.
Yeah, I agree.
You know?
I agree.
So, I don't know. I would have actually just thought that she would have been out there. I would have been very proud of it as the head of 343. Mooch is now the head of 343 Studios. You bet your butt on You like that? That is comical. But I mean, you bet your ass I'd be on that stage, Crap.
Yeah, I don't understand it either, man. That's more than you.
That's just how I roll.
So, yeah. Hey, we're already at an hour and a half, you guys.
I think we're even further than that. That's how great it is.
Yeah, man, it flew by.
It did, Crap. It did.
It was good to be back.
Isn't it good to be back? This was a great show.
Yeah, it was. It flew by, so that's really good, man.
Great audience too. Thanks everybody.
Hit the like button, share it out.
Yes. Hit the subscribe button. Can we get Mooch to 9,000, please?
Hit the bell. All that.
Tell
kind
a
of
friend. This screaming ain't easy. Neither's mooching, by the way. But nonetheless, Crap. Nonetheless, we will be back next Sunday on your channel.
We will. Yes.
And I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to tell you right now. Please do, guys, get your voicemails into Sully.
Yep.
Sully, can you let them know in the chat real quick how to just type that in there or type it on Twitter? Let everybody know.
I will type it on Twitter in the chat right now. Yeah, that's a good.
All right, there you go, guys. While Sully does that, I'll say do go and check out the rest of the channel for the videos. Check out CrapGamer reviews.
Yes, do it.
Good stuff over there. Great solo cast, Crap. I'm looking forward to Crappy Mondays tomorrow. Helps me get through the day, so I enjoy it.
That's the idea. So
I love it. I love it. You keep it going. Anything else you want to mention, Crap?
That's it for right now.
All right. We'll see you guys next Sunday, 11:30 a.m. on Crap's channel. Peace out, everybody. Enjoy your Sunday.
Peace out. Have a good one. Later.
We out. Here we go.
MNC is MNC. He gon' rack it up, get your game on, and he gon' bag it up. Y'all know what Mooch on, Mooch and Crap. Mooch and Crap. Mooch and Crap. Mooch and Crap. It's that time to get ready for the MMC show. Grab your coffee or your liquor, cause we ready to roll. They talking games, plus some gadgets, and you already know. Dial that number, leave them questions and away they go. Be a pony or a bot, the truth be it don't matter. We just gamers talking games, not those drama queens matters. So let's talk about gaming, news, leaks, and reviews. This a fan show on whatever topic y'all choose. True Xbox fans, and y'all know we bleed green. Yet we got every console we can play, everything. Got that Forza, got that Halo, got that Fallout, got that Kratos, got that Zelda, got that Spidey, got that AC, got it Ike, Mooch, and Crap, Mooch, and Crap, Mooch, and Crap, Mooch, and Crap. We just talking about games, no drama. That's how we do. MMC stays a show just for the people. Nostalgia is a hell of a drug to be a fiend to. Gaming is the #1 hobby we all keen to. Mooch and Crap, bringing gaming opinions and facts. MMC is back on the map. It's the best for show, and that's that. It's M and C. It's M and C. It's Mooch and Crap. It's Mooch and Crap. MMC is back. MNC is back. It's back. It's back. And y'all already know.